Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Samantha, and I'm from Safeopedia. And here it is our mission to support you, the EHS professionals, operational folks, and any safety-minded individuals with free safety information, tools, and education. I want to extend a huge thank you to all of our dedicated safety professionals for the great work they do on a daily basis in keeping our workplaces safe. A huge reminder, folks, our 6th annual Safety Connect conference is coming up on October 21st to 23rd. And I'm going to put the link in the chat in a couple of seconds here. So make sure that you're registered so that you get your CEUs, you can connect with your peers, and you can see more presentations like this. Russell's actually going to be there, so make sure that you catch up with him there. All right, today we are proud to present Evolving at the Speed of Lighting, portable LED lighting for today's applications. The Safeopedia webinar has been made possible today by Nightstick, a preferred manufacturer member of AD Safety Network. AD, together we win. Today, Russell Hoppy is going to teach us about the latest lighting technology, how it has evolved, and help you determine whether or not you're using the right lighting for the job. All right, Russell, with that, I'm ready to have us all sit back, relax, and let's jump into it.
Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Wanted to start out today talking about evolving at the speed of lighting. It's a little play on words here, but Nightstick, we're a portable lighting manufacturer. And so what we're going to talk a little bit about today is how we use portable LED lighting in today's applications and how it's changed. So wanted to start out by going through kind of today's agenda. I'm going to introduce myself, and we're going to talk about the way lighting is currently used today, specifically portable lighting. So portable LED lighting, that's what we specialize in here at Nightstick. We're going to talk about how lighting is purpose-driven, how it's designed and implemented for today's user, including the safety professional. We're going to talk about some conversation starters. And really, when I say conversation starters, what I'm talking about is we're going to talk about things to think about, ways to start a conversation about how lighting is being used, and then matching applications of what you need to the solutions currently available in the market. And then we'll jump into the needs and solutions, and then we'll round out everything with some questions and Q&A at the end. So let's start out here with an introduction. So my name is Russell Hoppy. I'm the marketing director here at Nightstick. We are based in Wiley, Texas, and I have been with the company for 12 years. So just a real quick introduction. Baco Products, Inc. We are the manufacturer of both the Baco brand as well as the Nightstick brand. Baco brand is our corded LED lighting, or excuse me, corded lighting solution, cord reels. Our Nightstick brand is our portable LED lighting. We're based, like I said, in Wiley, Texas, just northeast of Dallas. This facility is 110,000 square feet, and it includes our research and development, our engineering, sales, marketing, support staff, customer service, and this is the facility by which we distribute products around the globe, including 70 plus countries. So all of our products are designed and engineered out of our office. And we have, between the Baco and the Nightstick brand, a total of over 500 different SKUs. So that's a little plug for us, just to kind of give you some context of what we do and why we do it. So let's talk a little bit about lighting in today's workforce. So the products today, a couple statistics out there, approximately 2 out of 5 US workers currently operate during non-standard hours. That's going to be your nights, your weekends, your evenings. So if you think about it, 40% of individuals are workers in the US are working at night. And while the manufacturing, transportation, utilities, and leisure hospitality are the highest rate of the night shift, lighting is considered PPE. And so that means that lighting is a requirement of your job. It's not something that's optional. It's essential, and it's essential for your safety. It's essential for visibility, and it's part of compliance programs worldwide. So we know that the proper lighting helps significantly reduce the slips, trips, and falls by improving the visibility on uneven surfaces, obstacles, and hazards on the floor. That's important because this is in the workplace, lighting is a key element. Like I said, PPE requirement. It's not optional. So let's talk a little bit about the slips, trips, and falls that are occurring in the work environment, which is a leading safety threat. And I pulled some statistics here from the Bureau of Labor Statistics from 2024 saying that slips, trips, and falls represent about 450,000 work injuries, and 885 US workers actually died from slips, trips, and falls, which is the third leading cause of workplace fatalities. So this is a pretty serious issue within the workplace. Now, 47.6% attributed slips, trips, and falls came within the construction industry. And it's listed as a primary cause of the lost days of work, representing about 65% of lost days on the job. It also slips, trips, and falls also represent 15% of workers' compensation claims and 36% of emergency room visits. So we definitely know that there's an issue with slips, trips, and falls. And and keep in mind that improper or insufficient lighting is a major factor when you reduce visibility and it slows reactions. And so lighting is a key component of reducing slips, trips, and falls in the workplace. So if we look at what is used today traditionally and provided in the workplace, you're looking at the traditional lighting approach, which is, hey, let's light the entire job site, especially the hazardous zones like stairs, curbs, or uneven grounds. But but we want to use basic task lighting, not for general visibility, but we want it for precision or safety critical tasks that we're working on, because general entire job site lighting doesn't necessarily mean that it's lighting where you need it. So we want to make sure that we're equipping workers with a one size fit all light, and that is regardless of the job, role, or environment. Those one size fit all lights are not meeting the needs of today's workers. And the traditional lighting approach has a focus on meeting the basics, the minimum safety standards, rather than optimizing your visibility. So it's not about what the person needs, it's just what can we give them that just ticks a box. And that's not the traditional lighting approach is just not working. We expect workers to adapt to the lighting that's provided to them instead of using lighting that adapts to the user. So you know, we need to be more user focused instead of just, well, that's what you get, don't throw a fit. The key here is that traditional lighting meets the minimum, but the modern job and the modern safety professional needs to demand more. So if we look at it starts with kind of understanding the different types of lighting. And the reason we go through this small, short exercise is to kind of get an idea of what's available in the market today and kind of define the difference between a spotlight and, for example, a floodlight. So let's take a look at spotlights. Here's an image, as you can see, high candela, very tight beam, meant to throw a distance. That's what you typically think of when you think about a spotlight. Traditionally in the US, we call them flashlights. Internationally, they're called torches. But really, the idea behind a spotlight is it's most effective to see what's directly in front of you, okay? It's typically a focused tight beam meant for long ranges, and it's ideal for targeting a hazard or identifying an object from far away. And if you're looking at a focused inspection. So think very high candela, hot spot beam, very tight pencil beam type of application. That's generally high lumen and high candela, which is your spot. And it's the most popular form of a spotlight is a handheld. Now, that is in contrast to a floodlight. A floodlight is most effective when you want to see what's around you, okay? It's often a wide, soft beam for close range coverage. Think of like a light bulb in a traditional lamp, right? Light is emitted everywhere. It floods the area. It's typically ideal for working hands-on when you're trying to navigate an obstacle so you can see your peripherals and light up an entire workspace. The idea behind a floodlight is you're eliminating shadows and you're reducing the glare because you don't have that hot spot beam that bounces back at you. So floodlights are most popular in headlamps or area lights or even angle lights. Angle lights are used by the firefighter industry. It's probably the most popular example of a right angle light. But there's a difference between a focused beam and a unfocused kind of light up the entire area as a floodlight is. So why are we forcing people to choose one or the other when there is a new technology out there called dual light? When dual light offers two different forms of lighting, it doesn't force you to make a choice. It allows you to see your workspace and to see your surroundings, uh, not both. So Nightstick, in the technology we invented back in 2007, we were the first manufacturer to combine a spotlight and a floodlight running simultaneously or independently using two different LEDs. So it gives you that spotlight beam as well as the floodlight beam. And that allows you to focus on your critical tasks with piercing spotlight, while the floodlight provides proximity lighting that helps you prevent the slips, trips, and falls. No more taking a light and bouncing it up and down or moving it side to side, manipulating a traditional flashlight or torch to your application. You now have both a spot, a flood, or in this case, Nightstick has dual light. So ultimately, it comes down to asking the right questions because the right questions lead to the right lighting solution. And these are things that you, as a safety professional, or people that are working for you at your facility or your work environment, need to understand. Let's talk about some of the questions that help lead to the solutions. So, some of the questions out there: are your workers working in fully dark, or maybe it's sometimes ambient light? Is there smoke-filled environments? Is there glare or reflections present in the workplace? What type of task are you trying to accomplish? Are you needing to see near or far away? Are you walking? Are you stationary? Are you walking and you're working? Are you switching around your tasks and maybe even different spaces throughout the work day or the work evening? And do you need things like hands-free? Do are you working alone? Are you other people in the environment? Are you wearing gloves, or are there particular types of gear that you need to attach lighting to? Or, for example, hard hats are required in certain environments where, you know, um, other environments you're wearing like, you know, PPE clothing that you don't want to have your hands tied up. You need to go hands free, so you have things like clips or safety vests. The reason why we're asking this is because these are questions that determine the solution that you need. So, for example, if you're working in a fully dark or ambient light environment, you want both wide and focused visibility, right? And that's ideal for an application of dual light. Um, if you're working in the smoke, glare-filled, or reflective environments, you want a floodlight that's going to reduce that blowback or lumen blowback. You're going to need a spot to kind of cut through the smoke. You're going to need a green laser, for example. A green laser is visible during the day. So just because you're working in an environment doing an inspection, you still need to be able to pinpoint a crack or some type of issue. In order to do that, you need, even in an ambient light situation, you need to be able to identify or pinpoint a particular environment. Green lasers are ideal for that, and inspections, they're key. If your task and you need to see near and far, well, you need a dual beam, right? That dual beam delivers both the distance and the awareness that you need together in one application. If you're walking and you're working, you want to illuminate your task and the path to avoid those slips, trips, and falls that we know are so prevalent. And if you are switching tasks and you're moving around to different spaces, there's no toggling back and forth. The beams are always available when you are, and it's on demand. So you're not manipulating the light. You are taking the lights that are there that are purposely designed for your application. When it comes to things like hands-free, headlamps or helmet lights, they can do it all. And you don't need to swap out tools or aim the beam when it's designed specifically for your application. And what's nice there is hands-free using things like magnets or built-in clips. Those are key for convenience, but also, you don't want to have to take off gloves. I mean, you're wearing gloves for a reason. Hands-free lighting with big buttons that are designed for gloved hands is key. And so when you're working in the safety lighting business, you not need to make sure that you're choosing the right product for the application. Ultimately, when you're working alone, you want to see where you are and what's ahead, especially in a lone worker situation. Slips, trips, and falls. If you're by yourself and you're, out of cell phone range, or you're in an area where help is hard to come by, this is important that you are able to see both at a distance and your feet. The idea of when you're wearing gloves or you're wearing gear, two switches give you total control. There's no fumbling around. Activate the front switch, for example, to give you the spot or flash. The secondary lights up your feet, see where you're walking. It's really just a great, great product for safety-minded individuals. Now, whatever the task, just know that there is dual light available for those tasks. It surprises me that, there are people out there that would just go out and buy, two different products. They'd buy one flashlight and one floodlight, or have multiple products that they own for, you got enough going on. You don't need multiple products. You can have all of your dual light needs satisfied in one product, whether that be a handheld to see your feet and at a distance, whether that be a lantern. Notice in this picture here, you got a lantern with a mobile head that adjusts. It has an under-mounted floodlight, which is great for your feet. You can take that product, turn it up on its side, use it as a signal light while keeping a spot beam focused on a particular area. Angle lights, like I mentioned, for firefighters. This is huge, especially if you're wearing an SCBA mask. You have limited visibility with that mask. You need to be able to see where you're going and where you're walking, so you're not tripping and falling over all of these hazards all over the place. Keep in mind, there's no question that people in a safety environment are going to benefit from things like hard hats and FR clothing, gloves, and safety, steel-toed shoes. Yet when it comes to lighting, we also we will oftentimes look at it and say, well, what's the cheapest thing we can get that limits the person's use? It's like you're doing all these other things for safety. Why are you ignoring the needs for lighting, which obviously is a huge factor for visibility and helps prevent those slips, trips, and falls. You'll see things like headlamps. There's dual light headlamps. We here at Nightstick just recently came out with a motion activated headlamp where you wave your hand, your gloved hand. You want to prevent cross contamination. Just wave that glove right in front of the sensor on your headlamp, and the light will adjust accordingly. So you have both the spot, the flood, and the dual light. And then you'll notice lights that mount directly onto a helmet, whether it be a fire brim, full brim, short brim, mining cap lamp, all kinds of helmet mounting attachments, both here used commonly in the US or international. There are dual light solutions. Look at this helmet light here in the bottom right. You'll notice that has a forward beam as well as a downward flood. That downward flood is at a 45-degree angle, puts light very specifically where you need it, so that you're not blinding those in front of you, but you can still see where you're walking. So in summary, what we want to talk about is that the need for light is definitely increasing with today's workforce, working kind of those non-traditional hours. Slips, trips, and falls are a real issue. We saw the statistics behind that. The traditional approach of just giving enough is not working. And the end user, the customer ultimately needs to determine the solution that they require. And it's up to us to listen to the user and the worker, not just accept the fact, well, lighting is all the same and just be happy with what you get. There's been a lot of updates in technology over the years when it comes to batteries and rechargeability, LEDs, reflectors. The price point has come way down. So giving someone just a nearly adequate lighting tool is not sufficient. Flashlights are great for distance. We talked about how floodlights are intended for your proximity to see, close up and reduce the shadows. And that a single function lighting historically has limited the user. Historically, we don't want to limit the user in the workplace. We want to empower them. So the future obviously is dual light, and that dual light innovation addresses all the needs in one simple, convenient product. Dual lights are available in every industry and every application. In fact, Nightstick carries over 50 unique SKUs of intrinsically safe, Class 1, Division 1, safety certified, hazardous environment lighting products. ATEX, IECX certified, Zone 0. We lead the world in the number of portable lighting products available for industrial applications and hazardous environments. If you've not seen some of our products, I highly encourage you to go out to nightstick.com and you can see all of the different SKUs we have available. I think you'll enjoy some of the videos and content that we produce. So today, just kind of want to wrap everything up and see if there's any questions that you may have that we can answer. And other than that, I think we're ready for some questions.
Fantastic. Well, Russell, that was a really great presentation. As we give everybody some time to get their questions in, is there anything you want our audience to take away from today to keep top of mind to make sure that they can be choosing the right products for their every application?
I think the key is that a lot of people don't put thought into, everyday tools like lighting, flashlights and headlamps, and they just kind of say, well, my company offers me this, or um, you know, I I I'll just take what I have and I'll just make it work. Just keep in mind when it comes to safety, you're only as good as the equipment that you're provided and that you've requested or spec'd in. And if you haven't seen some of the applications of dual light in real life, I would encourage you to just go out, visit our website, just kind of look around, take a look at some of our innovative social pages, some of the videos we've put together. And the reason I say that is because you don't really know until you experience the product yourself. Um, you know, Products are one of those things that are meant to be, handed around and touched and interacted with. And that's why, safety professionals spend so much money, going to trade shows and getting samples. It's because you got to experience to understand the increased safety that it brings. So I would encourage you to not just accept the status quo, but really kind of get your hands on some products, interact, and then go, I don't know what I've been doing with the rest of my life. I mean, once you experience dual light, it's a total game changer. So I would definitely encourage you to put yourself outside of the comfort zone and try out dual light product right away.
Absolutely. And I would just like to again reiterate exactly what Russell said. You do not have to be confined to what you're used to. There are so many different applications. We don't have to hold a flashlight in a weird angle anymore. We don't have to do that. So make sure that you're checking out all of the different options available to you because it's 2025 and they do exist.
Yeah. And it shocks me, but there are still manufacturers out there that are encouraging people to put flashlights in their mouth. And they'll even put like a bite zone or a antibacterial area for you to put a flashlight in your mouth. And I'll tell you, my brother's a dentist and he would kill me if
Please don't do
if
that.
yeah, no, he would absolutely just, he would be so upset if you put, a flashlight in your mouth. But you know what? There are some people that still do that, and it shocks me.
Yeah, 0 out of 10 dentists recommend putting a
0 out
flashlight
of
in
10.
your mouth. So David wants to know where he can get a 360 hard hat lighting.
So 360 hard hat lighting. So there's a number of options in the market today. I will tell you that we have a number of products out on nightstick.com where you'll see like kind of these green or amber kind of follow me lights, lights that increase your visibility from to be seen from behind. There are some products out on the market that provide 360-degree lighting, straps, bands. I will say that some of those are better than others. Um, I will say from the nightstick perspective, the goal is that you're seen from multiple angles. And so there are a number of products that we offer that have both forward lighting, downward lighting, as well as green, what we call follow me lights or amber follow me lights that either blink or are solid. Our lanterns are a good example of that, where the lighting is visible from multiple angles.
All right. I just popped the website in the chat as well, so everybody make sure that you're clicking on that. And get in touch with Russell. Get in touch with your AD rep as well. Make sure that you're reaching out to Nightstick because there is a wealth of information there. And like Russell said, there's a ton of different options out there. You don't have to be confined to what you're used to. You don't have to hold a flashlight in your mouth anymore. You don't have to
That's right.
dangle it in weird positions. There are so many different options. So I just want to encourage you all to reach out to Russell, to reach out to Nightstick, to make sure that you're getting the right tool for the right application.
All
All
right.
right, Russell, that looks like it's it for questions. You did an amazing job answering all the questions throughout the presentation. Everybody feels like they got all their questions answered. So do you have any final words for our audience today?
No, I would say the big thing is we will be participating in the Safety Connect coming up in October. So I encourage you to make sure that you're registered for that. I'll be sending over a copy of today's presentation to Samantha. We do obviously support all of our dealers, including the AD Safety Network, AD Affiliated Distributor Network. We are available through the e-commerce platform that they offer. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to send us an email at nightstick.com. We have a link up in the upper right-hand corner where you can email Nightstick. We're based here in Texas and we reply immediately. So I appreciate your time and come check us out.
Fantastic. Well, again, I want to give Russell a huge shout out as well as Nightstick for allowing him to be here. Of course, AD Safety Network for allowing us to put this presentation on today, and all of the dedicated safety professionals and everyone in the audience, because without you, none of this would be possible. So thanks again. Take care and stay safe. Bye, everyone.